Good morning, world. You're tuned into Morning Kiss with Dom Blake. I'm Dominique Blake, the voice of NWA. We have an amazing show lined up for our listeners and viewers today. You could be tuned into any other station, so I thank you and love you for being here with us this morning on Morning Kiss. I'm here with my producer, Mr. Noel Sosa. Listen, Noel, I thank you so much for being here each and every week. You know, you put the show together and do such a phenomenal job. Talk to the people this morning. Tell them how you're feeling.
Hey, man, just good morning. Glad to be here. You know, like I said, Dom, you know, you're still in your, you know, all the things that you do. Now you're adding, you know, radio host to your resume, and you're doing a great job. It's just a pleasure to be here. And you always bring the dopest guests. This is what I love about it.
Don't I? Thank you. Thank you. Listen, guys, I have a super special guest in the building this morning that's near and dear to my heart. My mentor, my second dad, my coach of over 16 years. University of Arkansas assistant head coach, owner and founder of Captain Athletics, and one of the most decorated coaches in NCAA history. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Christopher Patrick Johnson.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, so guys, listen, he is hands down one of the most opinionated and passionate people that I know in my life. Those of you who are listening, I'm sure, you know, anybody in NWA, if you know this guy, I think you would agree. So, you know, we're definitely in for a phenomenal show this Monday morning to kick the week off. So, you know, let's give a round of applause to, you know, everybody that's listening. Thank you guys again for tuning in. We need to give a round of applause.
That's right. Come on.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So, you know, Coach Johnson, we're going to jump right into it and just introduce you. Talk to us about, you know, where you're from. Everybody sees this man. They see the success, but where are you from?
Well, I'm from Texas. Actually from Houston, Texas, and actually grew up in Prairie View. My mom lives in Houston. My grandmother lives in Prairie View, so we actually grew up in Prairie View, but spent a lot of time in Houston, back and forth and such. So that's where I'm from. Went to school at Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas. So really from the South, that's where I'm from, and here's where I'm at.
I think that there's something about people from Texas. You know,
I like this guy.
Right? It's something about people from Texas. Y'all have a different kind of swag and, you know, pride. And what is it about people? What is it about Texas?
Man, you know, you grow up with that Southern culture, like true Southern culture down there, bottom of the map, you know?
Yeah, everywhere he goes, he lets everybody know he's from Texas. Is that the same thing? Like, I feel like you told me, you know, this is where I'm from. I'm from Texas. And I'm like, wow.
Hey, I'm a proud, you know, Texan native. Of course, love being here in Northwest Arkansas, very special place. But, you know, you can never forget where you're from, or you never get where you're going. You know?
Listen, so I really just wanted to give everybody a taste of, you know, Coach Johnson, and, you know, let you guys know that he's in the building, you know. And before we get to the rest of the show and talk a little bit more to him, you know, I really want to let our listeners and viewers know that you can tune in right here each and every Monday to listen live, both on Kiss 105.3 FM, the PPBC app, and of course on our YouTube channel, Morning Kiss with Dom. So stay updated by subscribing to the channel. Of course, give us a like, share, so we can spread the morning kisses. Attention, all broadcasting, communication, marketing, photography, and media students. The Kiss 105.3 station and Morning Kiss show are giving you the opportunity to score an internship position with the #1 radio show. And listen, guys, if you've been wanting this opportunity, the time is now. Please slide into our DMs on Instagram at Morning Kiss with Dom Blake, and let's get you started. So today's show is brought to you by Rejuvenated Med Spa and Diamond Training. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into our Hott Topics, talk more to Coach Chris Johnson and about his new organization and the Lady Razorbacks and what to expect in 2021. Thank you guys for tuning into Morning Kiss. Noel, listen, you know that today is very special for me because I have my coach, Coach Chris Johnson, in the building. And how often, you know, do you get to interview your coach?
It's like family in the house.
Right. This will probably go down as my favorite interview in history. So I'm super excited to have him here. But, you know, welcome to the show. You know, Noel, how do you feel about me having him here? Well,
I've always heard great things about him. And, you know, knowing your history and background, I've always wanted to meet this gentleman.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was curious about something, because when you introduced him, you said he's very opinionated.
He is.
What does that mean? Whenever you call somebody opinionated,
he has an opinion about everything.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't think you get this far in life without taking criticism and hearing an opinion from somebody that you trust.
That's right.
So I don't think there's anything any major decision I've ever made in my life without hearing his side of what he thinks. And I'm going to let him tell you some of his opinions in a minute. But, I want to take a quick moment to tell everyone tuning in that you guys, one of the main reasons I'm the woman I am today, the reason I have the opportunity to, love people the way I do and be as lucky as I have is because of, your love, your lessons and guidance in my life. So yes, I have amazing parents, but there are just some people in your life that have an extra magic touch that makes a world of a difference. And I don't take that lightly. I don't take it for granted. So, for that, for you being that person, I am very grateful. And thank you so much. So enough of that before I start crying.
Hey, come on. It's rude.
So, I'm really excited. So I want to talk to you about, your history and your experience in sports, because a lot of people would love to become a coach, especially a coach at the University of Arkansas.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been coaching in the sport of track and field and at U of A?
Well, at U of A, this is my second stint. The first stint I had was as a graduate assistant under Coach Rolando Green, and then I left, went to Penn State, spent 8 years there, and then they asked me to come back, so it wasn't a hard
Shout
choice.
out to the Nittany Lions. That's actually where I met him. I got recruited there at 16, and so it's been history since. So that's actually how we got together, being a Nittany Lion and then moving my life all the way to here to Fayetteville, Arkansas. That's super dope. And the fact that he was a grad assistant here, so he came back home to the University of Arkansas. So, people are super fascinated with the Razorbacks. And what is the legacy associated with the U of A track and field program?
Well, I think the legacy obviously started with the men, and the Lady Razorbacks is recent history and developing a legacy just to trying to mirror the men and what they've accomplished. And I think we've done a fairly good job at it thus far. I just think it's a special place and near and dear to people that are track fans, because it's a place of development. It's a place that you can hone your skills and get better, and basically the sky's the limit. And you can look at a lot of our athletes, our greats on the men's side, along with the women. They've been developed. They're just not number one kids coming out of high school or junior college. They've actually been developed, and they have successful careers if they choose to come to Arkansas.
He's being very modest.
You can tell.
You can tell, right? You feel that energy. You feel that modest energy.
Because I know how successful the program is, and he's
right.
like, well, you know.
You're doing the math. You're like, okay, all right. So he won't say it, but I will definitely say it for him. The success that the Lady Razorbacks have had over the past, decade or years that are recent to now, definitely can be attributed to his work, his magic. So I think one of the fantastic things that he does is that, he takes raw talent that isn't recognized as talent and makes it into magic. Some of the performances that you see that are the best in the world is because of him. He's not going to say it, but I'll say it for him. So, that's awesome. And who do you currently coach right now?
Well, I currently coach Janique Brown of Jamaica, Peyton Chadwick, formerly of Springdale, Shamir Little, who actually went to A&M. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Talia Brooks, who's a Razorback. Yep. Sparkle McKnight, who's a former Razorback. Dominique Blake, who's a Nittany Lion, so we won't hold that against her. And then Kiara Parker, who was formerly a Razorback as well. Awesome. So basically, the athletes that I coach are basically Razorbacks with the exception of a few. But obviously, I recruited Shamir, and she made a poor choice. But actually, she had a great career at A&M, so I'm just messing with her. But and obviously, Don went to Penn State, and that's where I met her at.
Listen, guys, the roster is long, and so the talent that we have in our professional group is amazing. We feed off of each other, and it's just a dynamic world and a bubble that we've built for ourselves to honestly become the best in the world. This isn't an easy task, and so when we show up to practice every day, it is work. So when we go to the Oval Office, it isn't an effort to, make that Olympic team or be the best in the world, run faster than we did last year or last week. So, Thank you for sharing that, Coach. I want to segue and talk to you about something that's super new. I don't know how long you've been planning this, but the world has now seen the birth of Captain Athletics. So that is your organization, your new brand, your new foundation. Talk to us about that, and what is it about, and how did it begin?
Well, basically, where the name came from, some former athletes of mine when I first got here, because they said I was so regimented. I was like a captain, so they always used to call me captain. And so the ladies have been throwing around, well, we got to create a group, we need a name, so forth and so on. So, that's how the name Captain Athletics originated. So, to my surprise, because track is a passion of mine, but my focus is coaching, they're really good at setting things up and getting things organized. My deal is singularly focused in coaching. So actually, to my surprise, they developed a group and had a lunch party on my behalf. So that's really how the Captain Athletics started. Obviously, it's a professional group of athletes who I train, but we're going to have a couple of spin-offs off of it, where we're going to do some coaching clinics for coaches. Then we're gonna do some camps for the younger people, and that'll be speed camps, but then more track specific camps, and eventually have a club. And basically, we want to address all needs of Northwest Arkansas. I think you have some clubs, but I don't think they're very formal in the way they do things and the structure. We want to have a structured environment. We want to be able to develop and cultivate what we have here in Northwest Arkansas.
Round of applause for that, Noel. Listen, I'm a big fan of looking out into the world and seeing what's missing and adding that to increase value and just bring something new and fresh. I think Northwest Arkansas is an amazing place to be. And we're so fortunate to have this kind of environment where you can come and just create whatever it is that you want and be successful, right? So I'm looking forward to that. I think clinics, camps, and clubs are something that a lot of young people and kids can definitely benefit from. So, can anybody join Captain Athletics? Can Noel join? Can Katie hop in?
No, they cannot join as a professional athlete, but they can support. So It's really, for me, it's about the support of the community to help the young people. And obviously, the professional side of it, there's certain things and requirements that you got to do to be a professional athlete. Everybody doesn't necessarily gift. That's not their gift.
So basically what he's saying is if you run a little bit faster, you could join Captain Athletics. All right?
It would have to be a lot faster. I don't move like that.
And speaking of community, Coach, what is Captain Athletics currently doing in the community? I see you guys everywhere on social media. The website has officially launched. So I'll let you talk a little bit about what you're currently doing now in the community.
Well, currently what we're doing right now, I've got and it's just on a small scale right now, a few of my friends, personal friends, and then obviously my athletes. We're raising money to donate to this organization for Shoes for the Homeless. Roger Hunter is a good friend of mine, and he's retired now from the University of Arkansas. So he has this program that he's started that he wants to be able to raise money to buy shoes, new shoes or maybe gently used shoes to give to the homeless. So that's a big passion of ours, to be able to give back to the community and to give back shoes. And we run, it's going to be a good thing for what we do and what we represent. So I always think that whatever you have, you still have an opportunity to give back. And I want these young ladies and people to understand it's about helping others as someone helped you get to where you're at.
Absolutely. I don't think I could say it any better. So if people that are listening and watching right now, where can they, find Captain Athletics to, donate money? If they want to give shoes, how can they find Captain Athletics?
They can find us on Instagram, and we've just launched a website, and the website is on Captain Athletics on Instagram, so you can click the link and get the website. I'm not completely sure. I think it's captainathletics.org.
Yep.
But it's just started, and it's just launched yesterday, so it just hit the net yesterday, so there may be a few bugs, but it looks good. Everything is running well. But and there's a place that you can donate. And the donations are not going to Coach Johnson per se. It's going to raise money to give away and to support our athletes in their endeavors as they go across Europe, and it will allow me to travel with them in some of the more important meets.
Absolutely. And you know what? 2021 is an Olympic year, guys. So the energy is at an all-time high. So, shout out to Captain Athletics. You can find them on Instagram at Captain Athletics. And in the bio, you will find all the information that you need to support the organization and support everything that Coach Johnson and, all the athletes are doing. So I found out that our calendar has just launched, and I'm so excited. So for those of you who follow my Instagram, Coach, before we get any further, where can they find you? What's your name on Instagram?
My name on Instagram is Captain Johnson.
Of course.
So it's easy to find, Captain_Johnson on Instagram, and you can find me there.
Excellent. Yeah, listen, I think, Instagram is how we're all finding each other. And so I want everybody to know that our calendar has just been released and it looks amazing. So, that's another thing. 'Tis the season, we're up 2021 is upon us. And, I think that it would be a wonderful thing to kick the year off with an amazing calendar. So, Noel, I'm going to say the first one, you're going to buy the first calendar.
Count me in right now.
Katie, you're going to buy, right, you got the second one. Excellent. So we're going to make sure that you guys have all the information you need to order that calendar and get access to Captain Athletics. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk Hott Topics and some more Captain Athletics. We are back. Thank you guys for tuning into Morning Kiss. So we have some amazing hot topics that we're going to go through today, guys, and I can't wait to discuss them and, find out what you think, especially, Noel, like I can't wait to share. All right. The first one, we're going to talk Apple unveils their $549 AirPods Max headphones, and people have some interesting thoughts. Apple's definitely on a mission to take all of our money, obviously. Every 6 months, they seem to come up with a new device, and they're so unapologetic about it, right? But we're still buying it. So what does that say about us? So according to lovebscott.com, starting Tuesday, Apple enthusiasts will have the chance to get their hands on the latest member of the AirPods family. AirPods Max bring the Apple AirPods vibe to a new over-ear design, complete with hi-fi sound capabilities and active noise cancellation. The Max is available in 5 different color options, including sky blue, space gray, silver, green, and perhaps the most exciting of all, pink. All right. So how do you guys feel about the fact that it's over ear? I have AirPods. Coach Johnson has. I know you got AirPods. Do you have AirPods?
Absolutely.
All right. How do you feel about the fact that they're now over the ear? Is that taken away from the fact that they're supposed to be,
well, something like that. And this is just me. Like, I got Bose earbuds that I use. And that's great for personal use and, having conversations on the phone.
Right.
But like over the ear, the only time I really use that is like when I'm here in studio. Yeah.
How about you, Coach?
Well, I think obviously my AirPod Pros I would use on a day-to-day basis, just where I don't have to hold the phone to my ear. But I think with travel, and when you want to, maybe you're in your office and you don't want to be dealing with people or listening to their conversations, whatever the case may be, I think those would be very handy. And I can only imagine if the AirPod Pros sound the way they sound, the over the ear is going to be. This is going to
make you feel like you're in the studio.
Yeah.
Now, are y'all paying $549 for them?
Absolutely.
Said that real quick.
There's no price. Hopefully,
right.
that could be a Christmas gift.
Right, there you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Hint. I hope your wife is listening, Gigi. Are you paying $549 for them, Noel?
Probably not for me, but my daughter usually gets everything. So,
okay. Yeah. All right. So, I think that, I want to see somebody else. It's kind of like, I want to see the vaccine tested on somebody before I try it. So I want to see somebody else, kind of have them and, be able to touch it and see what their opinions on it. All right. So we're talking Tommy Tyner Lister is dead at 62. Shout out to his family. May he rest in peace. Prayers to them. This isn't easy. Anytime somebody loses a family member or a friend, it's definitely a sad time. But guys, according to TMZ, a release from the LA County Sheriff's Department says that friends and business associates of Lister became worried when they hadn't heard from him. Deputies performed a welfare check where they made their way into his apartment and found him dead. At this point, cops say it's believed that Lister died of natural causes, but an autopsy will be performed to determine an official cause of death. Tiny began landing his bullying bad guy roles in the 80s, but he's most famous for his hilarious role as Debo in Friday and the sequel Next Friday. So I'm hearing some whispers, Noel, that this may be COVID related, allegedly, and I'm just like, no, not again. We can't lose anybody else to 2020 and COVID, and it just sucks. So is 2020 taking everybody out? Like,
man, it's been a very tough year for that. But speaking about Tiny Debo,
Debo.
I mean, that guy right there was so iconic for me in my lifetime, in my lifespan. I mean, I first remember seeing him as the character Zeus wrestling Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That he was just a big, imposing figure, had all the right little characteristics to play that role. But then Debo, I mean, that was such a big thing, at least from where I'm from.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's literally a term that people use, man.
He's a culture.
I'm a Debo.
I think he's a culture classic for all of us. We'll always remember him as Debo. I honestly, I'm a little bit of a different generation, but we're kind of in that same pocket.
Right, close
but
enough.
I can't see him doing anything else other than being Debo. That, fun fact, I used to see him at track meets whenever we would travel to the West Coast. I don't know what it was about, but he would just be this big dude sitting in the stands just watching the races. And I thought that was so weird. Whenever we'd go to Long Beach Poly or, anywhere on the West Coast, he would be there in the stands just watching all the races. Not like cheering, excited or anything, but just watching. And I'm like, Debo is in the stands watching us race. Like, what? Okay, so guys, I want to get your perspective and your take as men. As men of color, are you guys more aware of your health and taking care of your bodies in 2020, like more than any other time in your lives?
I think you have to be. I mean, obviously, health has to be intentional now, and obviously with COVID-19 going on, it brings you back to some normalcy and saying, wait a minute, your health can get away by working and just doing other things and your levels of stress.
Yep.
But this is kind of bring everything home. If you don't know of anyone who's passed away, you know of someone who's been sick. So anytime something gets close to you, it brings some more awareness. And so you got to do a better job at taking care of yourself. You may contract COVID-19, but the healthier you are, the more ability you will have to get through it. I think obviously your health is your wealth, and you got to be intentional about taking care of yourself.
I totally agree. I haven't heard of any athletes passing away yet from COVID, so I am a firm believer in the stronger your lungs are, the more you're taking care of your body. There's definitely a connection there. Do you agree, Noel?
I mean, come on, just like what he said, man. Your health is your wealth, and
absolutely.
That is 100% true. And I'm glad I'm on that mission to get back right now.
There you go. All right, guys. So there's the famous Beyonce song line goes, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. A 26-year-old woman sues her boyfriend for not marrying her after 6 years of dating and having a child together. According to the Neighborhood Talk, this woman grew tired of waiting for her boyfriend of 8 years and the father of her child to propose, and she decided that he'd wasted her time to a criminal degree. So she took him to court. Gertrude Noma, age 26, reported she sued her partner, Herbert Selasky, 28, not only for fiddling her years away, but for without proposing to her and also texting other women. Herbert. So he defended himself in court actually by saying he's not currently in a financial position to afford a wedding, and also because Gertrude isn't giving him enough or sufficient attention in their relationship. So the judge reportedly told Gertrude that there's nothing that the court could do because there was no formal marriage. Now, both of you are married, you're married men, and you seem to be very intentional about your relationships with your wives, and that is very admirable. So I got some questions for you. I need to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on this between Gertrude and Herbert? Is 8 years too long? for marrying a woman?
Well, I mean, I think that's between the relationship is different for everybody. And 8 years of dating, 8 years of living together, what are we talking about here? So, I mean, I think that's very vague. So without having all the evidence, I guess, then it's kind of hard to make that decision. But I think, after 8 years, if you don't know what you want to do and you're still hanging around, it's like, I mean, that's really on you. You've made a bad decision that's led into another bad decision that's led into another bad decision. And I think out front, here's your expectations as a young lady. You're serious and you want to settle down. Then you got to make your intentions. You
hear that, ladies?
You got to voice your intention. Hey, I like you. I can see having a future with you, but I'm not going to wait around for 10 years for you to marry me, or 8 years, or 3 years, or 2 years. Everyone has their own timeline of what they think is sufficient. My brother got married in 6 months. Me and Gigi dated for 3 years. I've had friends that date their wives for 10 years or less or plus. It just depends on the person and depends on their current situation. I think a lot of pressure on guys to get the right ring financially, be able to take care of a family, and that might be something that's prohibiting them from taking that step. But the reassurance of a woman that, hey, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to be with you. I want to start my life with you. I don't care where you're at financially or whatever the case may be, might lend that guy to move faster.
You hear that, ladies? You've heard it from an experienced man with a successful marriage. Noel, I want to know how long were you engaged before marrying your wife?
Well, I mean, we were together 10 years before we actually got married. But, we were raising the baby, living together. We were acting as a married couple. We just hadn't officially.
How old were you
married.
guys?
Don't make me do math now and date myself, Don. Come on, man. I was young, okay?
Right.
Once upon a time.
20s, teens,
yeah. 20s.
Okay, so for me, in my eyes, that's, you're still a kid at 20, 21.
For sure.
So you're figuring it out. Okay, so how long have you been married, both of you?
So since we got married in 2014, after being together 10 years.
Okay.
So that is, what is that? What year are we in now? 6 years.
All right. How long you been married, Coach?
15.
Ooh, you say that and it just rolls off his tongue.
How long you said?
15 years.
I mean, I'm fortunate, I mean.
Okay.
See, if I had moved on, I'd be right there with you.
Right. You know what is it? What is it called where you're not technically married on paper? Common law.
Right.
So do you think y'all would be classified as common law?
That's what
married?
I heard.
All right. Okay. We'll take it. All right. So what is both of your advice? Give the guys out there some advice before asking for a woman's hand in marriage. What would you tell these men?
I would say to be sure, to be intentional, and understand that relationships change. Doesn't matter if it's a marriage or a friendship or whatever the case may be. It changes, it evolves. It's not going to stay the same. And I think communication is the biggest nuance for a failed marriage or a failed relationship, whether that be with your friend, whether that be with your family, whether that be with a coworker. The level of communication and expectation that you have for that person changes as you change and as you grow and as you mature. So you got to be pliable. It's not one size fits all. And you got to hear the person in order to effectively communicate. And you got to kind of have some of the same goals and morals and values that person has for it to work.
I totally agree. You agree with that, Noel?
Absolutely. And I'll just say this 2 quick things real quick. If I could give any kind of advice. One thing is relationships are all about being able to survive the bad times, the tough times. That's what it's all about. It's all good when it's all good.
Right.
But when it gets a little rocky, that's the true test of a relationship. If you can make it through those times, you're golden. And the other thing is, because I hear a lot of people say this, because again, they'll be together, they maybe live together, may have some type of financial arrangement. We're basically married anyway. Let me tell you something. There is something to be said about actually doing it. To do it the way it's supposed to be done, that does change some things. And what I have seen personally in my life and in those who have also done it the right way, blessings come into your life when you do it right.
I agree.
So just keep that in mind.
That's some good advice, Noel. You know what? And I totally agree with both of you. And thank you for sharing that. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into the word of the day and our final message. We are back. Thank you guys for tuning into Morning Kiss. Today's show is brought to you by Diamond Training and Rejuvenated Med Spa. You can expect the best treatments aimed at regaining balance, vitality, and well-being, as well as slowing signs of the aging process, all with consistently extraordinary experience. The telephone number is 479-335-5777. Their address is 3959 North Steel Boulevard, Suite 122, right here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Diamond Training, NWA's #1 personal training company. They're virtual, local, and mobile. Rated #1 on Google for amazing customer service and guaranteeing results. Call today for your free personal training session, 479-312-0296. Remember to mention special code DTKISS to get $200 off any package purchase. Also visit them at dvbdiamondtraining.com. Guys, if you would like to advertise your business right here on Morning Kiss, DM us on Instagram at Morning Kiss with Dom Blake, or call telephone number 479-312-0296, and we'll get you hooked up so you can tell the world why your business or product is so amazing. So our word of the day is personalia. So personalia, the definition is personal illusions, belongings, writings, information. Examples of personalia in a sentence is: the Edgar Allan Poe house contains many of his personalia. Robert had to make many treks back to his childhood home to collect all of his personalia. So that's a cool word. Right. So you guys know I bring a word to you each and every show just to expand your vocabulary, because that is very important. Like Coach Johnson says, with communication. Without effective communication, life is just a little bit harder. Right. Our final message today before we wrap up: understand that preparation is key. Success favors the person that has taken the time to prepare for whatever the task is at hand. Whether you're an athlete, student, radio personality, coach, janitor, it does not matter. Opportunity seems to always find the person that continues to show up with all their tools, game plan, and eyes on the target. When we're unprepared, we tend to not be confident or fall back because we didn't do the work. So always make the biggest effort to prepare for whatever it is that you want and whatever life demands of you to be successful. I'll read a famous quote I've passed down to many people I know that I mentor. And, anybody that's on my team, you guys have heard me say this a million times. So the quote is, are you ready for this? You ready for this, Coach? You ready for this? If you stay ready, you never have to get ready, by Christopher Patrick Johnson. Round of applause. So really quickly, y'all, listen, I've been hearing that, since I was 16. I can't tell you, how many times I've maybe showed up not prepared, or showed up to, off-season camp, maybe a little bit overweight, and I have nothing to say but, he looked me in my face and say, listen, if you had prepared and done the work, we wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have to be nervous. You would just be ready, right? So that is lent to every area of life, guys. If you stay ready, if you stay in the pocket, if you stay focused, you never have to get ready. You never have to be nervous. So thank you for sharing that with me, Coach. So, we're going to close out today. A special thank you to our show producer, Mr. Noel Sosa, and my super special guest, Coach Chris Johnson. Thank you guys for being here with me today. Also, for those of you listening and tuning in, thank you guys for always being just taking the time to tune into Morning Kiss right here on Kiss 105.3 FM and the Stream PPBC app each and every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Central to kick your week off. Tell a friend to tell a friend so we can spread the word about the morning's hottest show. Head over to our YouTube channel, Morning Kiss with Dom Blake. Be sure to like, share, leave a comment, and subscribe. We want to hear from you guys. If we've heard your comment, that means we've seen it and we love it. Also, follow us on Instagram at Morning Kiss with Dom Blake. I am your host, Dominique Blake, the voice of NWA. Until next time, I love you guys and have a great day.